Hey guys, it's Abdullah, and today I'm going to be comparing between the 9 PureView against the 8.3 5G in terms of raw image capabilities. So in my previous video, which you can watch in the link up here or here, I declared that the 8.3 is a better camera when it comes to point and shoot. So if you just want, the easiest way to capture good images on a Nokia phone, the 8.3 is probably going to serve you a bit better because it's just a bit smarter. It has night mode and certain settings that make it very easy to capture good images. But on the other hand, the 9 PureView is a bit more specialized, and its key advantage, at least advertised, is its raw image capabilities, thanks to capturing images with 5 cameras. So the question is, does that actually hold up? Is it really better when it comes to capturing raw images? That's what we're here to find out. So let's start by looking at the raw images captured with the 8.3. In this situation, this image of the sky and building and the park. And well, in the 8.3, you can't capture a raw image unless you're using Pro mode. And to get this image, I set everything in auto while in Pro mode, enabled raw images, and captured this image. And the image is a bit too bright for my liking. I mean, just look at that sky. It almost has no details when it wasn't this bright that day. And let's take a look at the building. When we zoom in, look at all those levels, very strong levels of noise in this image captured on the 8.3. And this is how it is usually when you're using a smartphone and you enable RAW mode. Most phones, even Samsung's, Huawei's, when you enable RAW mode, the captured image has so much noise. And the raw image, it's an image that you're supposed to be editing and processing any way that you like. So it doesn't do any sort of noise filtering, so the images are usually, most of the time, very noisy, like the image that you can see here. I mean, just look at the brown over here on this building, look at all that noise. Now let's take a look at the 9 PureView's raw image. For a start, it gets much better exposure in this situation because, you don't have to go into Pro mode to enable raw images, so that's a big advantage for the 9 PureView over the 8.3. And because of that, you can see a lot more details in the sky. The details are all still preserved. And you can play around and you can actually get a better looking image just because the exposure was done right from the very beginning. You can manually fix the exposure on the 8.3 in Pro mode, but it's a bit dumb that you can't capture auto images and save raw images at the same time, the same way you can on the Nokia 9 PureView. And then if we zoom in, take a look at that. So much less noise in this picture. It's almost like the image itself has already been processed just specifically to get rid of noise. And this is a nice benefit that you get with the 9 PureView over most other phones which capture images in RAW. Because of this, look at the image, it's so clean. And it still manages to preserve a lot of details within the image, even though there's barely any noise, even without any post-processing done on the image. Now let's try and adjust some of the settings. And because I'm lazy and because I don't want this video to last for a lifetime, let's just do it in auto. And take a look at this image. Just by pressing auto, I didn't fix much. I didn't, adjust sharpness, remove noise or anything like that. Just take a look at this photo. It is such a good looking photo. The exposure is almost perfect. You can see all the details in the sky, and the color of the sky is still preserved. It's such a good looking image with very neutral color processing, which is also quite nice. And this is something you expect from our raw images, but the 9 PureView does it so well. So even with very minor adjustments, in this case, I literally just clicked auto in Lightroom, you get a very nice looking image that you can, if you want to enhance, you can still fix around. So, you can reduce the highlights a bit, maybe. If you want to get more vibrant looking images, you can also adjust, the vibrance. If you like that sort of thing, I like the way that it kept things. You can also improve the saturation of the image. So you can get the image, looking exactly the way you want it, with the benefit of barely any noise being captured in the image thanks to the 5 cameras. So this is the big advantage of the 9 PureView compared to almost any other phone out there with RAW capabilities. Let's have a look at another example. So in this situation, we're going to look at the sunset in this specific image to take a look at the dynamic range captured. And this is the 8.3's image here. Let's adjust it. Not bad. I mean, good levels of details, but look at all that noise captured on this sign, for example. It's quite a noisy looking image. And this is just with the auto adjustments. So for comparison's sake, let's look at the 9 PureView's image. And look at that. This captures the tone much better. And look at that. Look at how much less noise there is on this compared to this. Just look at the noise here compared to the 9 PureView. Much less noise, and the dynamic range once again is really superb. I would make the image slightly brighter on the 9 PureView and maybe reduce the highlights a bit. But it captures better dynamic range very visibly in this situation compared to the 8.3, and it's just a much more rich image, and it really shows you how much more details are hidden within the images captured with the 9 PureView's RAW. Once again, using Pro mode just in auto without any adjustments, you end up with an image that doesn't capture the best dynamic range because there's no HDR enabled in Pro mode. And let's play around. Just auto, not a bad looking image, quite realistic looking colors. If you're the type of person who likes to tinker around, you can still have fun with the 8.3, but there's a lot of noise present, as you can see. Let's reduce zoom level. Yeah, take a look at all that noise present in the image. You can try and adjust it, but when you adjust it, you start losing some of the details captured in the image. So it's not a perfect situation for you. Now, let's take a look at the image captured with the 9 PureView. This is more like it. Again, tries to preserve the details in the sky. There's still a lot of details captured in the shadows. And let's play around a little bit. Let's adjust things auto. Once again, look at this image. It's great. And look at that. Just take a look at that. So much more details captured, much less noise. It's obviously leagues ahead when it comes to RAW images. And this is why the 9 PureView is a more specialized tool than the 8.3. If you're just looking at trying to do, point and shoot images, the 8.3 is going to win in a lot more situations than the 9, especially when it comes to low light, with its dedicated night mode. But if you like tinkering around with images, you know what you're doing, and it's quite easy to do it. It's honestly very easy to learn this technique. All you have to do is just download an app like Snapseed, for example, which is free, and you can edit raw images on the 9 PureView, and you can really end up with stunning looking images that are very balanced, that capture so much dynamic range within the image. And this is what the 5 sensors are here for. 5 different pictures fused into one. So much details captured within that image that you can play around and extract in Lightroom or Snapseed or wherever you want. So yeah, that's pretty much the summary of this review. If you want something for point and shoot capabilities, I would highly recommend the 8.3. It's quite capable, does a really good job. But if you want something more specialized, if you like to play around with your raw images, you want to be a bit more creative, and you want to have more direction over exactly how your pictures turn out, then there's definitely no beating the 9 PureView. So that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me, and hopefully we can get to grow this channel together. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.